The book of Sirach, chapter 1, verse 26. If thou desire wisdom, keep the commandments.
If you desire wisdom, keep the commandments. Read.
And the Lord shall give her unto thee.
The Lord will give you all the wisdom you want if you keep the commandments. And that's why a lot of when I was trying to teach my mom or whatever, and she didn't understand pretty much nothing. But even me knowing this, I say, Mom, put this hat on your head or whatever. I'll make her wrap her head, and she'll get it somewhat better, because the more commandments you keep, the more understanding he give you. If I can get you to keep a couple Sabbaths, you might got a chance. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get the people in here, but 9 times out of 10 it don't work. You just cast the seeds where they go. If they fall on good ground, they do. If they don't, they don't. Read that again.
If thou desire wisdom.
If you want to understand this Bible, if you want to understand your God, read.
Keep the commandments.
All you got to do is start to keep the commandments. Read.
And the Lord shall give her unto thee.
And he will give it unto you. So if you sitting here on the other side of the screen and you wondering why you don't understand certain things, give it time. Give it time. And the more you start to keep the commandments, the more understanding he give you. Right? So, for instance, I come in first of all, and I understand I have to keep the Sabbath. Right? But I'm keeping it. This is before I come in the body. I'm keeping it, Friday at 12 o'clock to Saturday at 12 o'clock, because all I understand is Esau time. That's the best, to the best of my ability. That's how I was keeping it. And my understanding was very minimal. And I was also still using the microwave and things. I'm brand new, so my understanding is minimal. When I stopped doing those things, my understanding said, and I started to get things that I've read already. And now it's starting to make sense. All you got to do is trust the process. This is an instruction manual for understanding. If you want understanding, start keeping the commandments. Keep the commandments more esteemed at it, more serious about it. Show up to all the high holy days in sincerity. Forgive a brother when you feel like you've been done wrong, and you'll understanding to go up. Little word to the wise. Go to Sirach 21 and 11.
Sirach chapter 21, verse 11. Mm-hmm. He that keepeth the law of the Lord getteth the understanding thereof.
If you keep the laws, you get the understanding. You get the understanding thereof. So the more laws you keep and apply, the more understanding God give you freely. He give you the understanding. It's all right here. But the problem is our hearts, our ears is heavy. It's all gummed up with worldly wisdom and philosophy, and the wisdom can't get through all the Christian gunk. You know what I'm saying? It's all gummed up here, man. What about the white people? What about all the we don't never say, what about the Chinese people? We don't never say, what about the Arab man? We don't never say that, because we program not even knowing it. You think you moving in your own accord. You think you being an individual, but you moving just like the rest of the mice right into the same trap. Right? I had a video for that, but I can't find it.
Hey, Jew, it's just like when you was talking about pride, and like the scripture Isaiah pulled when it said pride and arrogancy. That's the philosophy we follow as servants in this land. Yeah. Because we'll say, what about white people? Right. And then we'll read it to them, and we'll show them their judgment, and you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then they'll say, I'm not serving a God that'll do that.
They turn atheists right there.
Immediate, and I'm like, look at the pride in that.
That's crazy.
You think because in your mind you think that God is wrong for doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like you willing to not serve God because the Bible says something that you wasn't raised to agree to.
Right.
Knowing you ain't read none of this before ever in your life, and we showing you something for the first time in your Bible, on your phone, pulling up your Bible app on your phone, and we telling you to read it, you reading it, and now you say, because I'm reading this, I don't want to serve this God.
Right.
That's cold, bro.
And you know how when I'm on a flyer mission or whatever, I know they starting to understand it when they do this.
That's the tug of war.
Yeah, God don't. I'll give you an instance, right? Let's say God don't hate nobody. God don't hate, and you taking the Romans 9:13, and you read it to him. And you don't give no breakdown. And I hated Esau. They be shaking it out of their head because they actually receiving it.
Yeah.
And it's like trying to wake somebody out of bed when they comfortable and it's cold outside. You trying to snatch the covers off them. They like,
It's like when you
taste
taste that Robitussin for the first time.
You shaking it out, and that's what our people is doing. But we just got to keep on giving it to them. Keep on giving it to them.
Luke chapter 14, verse 26. If any man come to me and hate not his father and mother and wife and children and brethren and sisters, yea, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple.
So guess what? If you love God, you keep his commandments. If you hate him, you don't, right? So when it say, if any man come to me and hate not his father, this meaning if you listen to your father or mother more than me, that's what it's going into, right? Because you showing me the love is actually showing them the hate, right? So it's saying, if any man come to me and hate not his father, meaning you don't you start to not trim your ways and you keep following me, right? You showing your worldly father some sort of hatred or whatever. They feel offended. If you don't initiate that offense by following the Lord, it say, if any man come to me and hate not his father and mother, it could be a mother. It don't necessarily have to be all of these. Some of these, I know I fell out with my sister. Me and my sister was close. Ace Boone, right? Me and her don't even talk no more. I haven't talked to her in 4 years, probably 4 years now. I haven't talked to my sister, and we was close. But I'm still cool with my moms. She like pleased to dwell with in this truth. She come over, put the head wrap on, the dress on. She love the kids. So she'll do those things out of respect for me and out of respect for the kids. My sister is like, it ain't no talking to her at all, right? Now for you, that might be your father, or that might be your brother, or that might be your best friend that you came in with. It could be a child of yours. You know what I'm saying? Read it again.
If any man come to me and hate not his father and mother and wife and children and brethren and sisters, yea, and his own life also.
And your own life also, the lifestyle that you used to live. Your own lifestyle that you used to live. If you can't forsake that, read.
He cannot be my disciple.
You're not going to be able to be a student of Christ. You're not going to be able to, you're not going to fit the bill. You're not going to be able to, you're not going to be hired. You won't be able to do this job. You can't follow me. You got other things pulling you this way. You unsure. You that man that go both ways. Nah, you probably not going to be the disciple. But if you the one that don't trim your ways to seek love, right? You're not following the philosophies of men, the rudiments of the world. Yeah, you can be used. No, I'm here to tell you, look, in year 3, year 4, that stuff stops. But year 1, year 2, year 3, oh my God. The onslaught of the family is crazy. And you be wanting to, make them happy, but guess what? Hey, I got to stick to this so I can be used by the Most High. That's right. You know what I'm saying? I can't trim my ways, because actually, if I do trim my ways, I'm actually teaching them it's okay to break God's laws. Yep. I'm defeating the own purpose. I'm trying to teach you, you know what I'm saying? And then I show you against what I'm teaching you. I'm actually hurting you more than I'm helping you. You get what I'm saying? So during this time, you got birthdays of your loved ones. You got Father's Day. Mother's Day is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Those days you got to really gird up your loins in the Most High's holy days. Like we had all that fun during the Feast of Dedication. You know, right. I had my daughter. She liked the Christmas lights. They like bright stuff. You know what I'm saying? She's just a little girl, so she say, "Ooh, pretty lights, Daddy, pretty lights." I'm like, "No, them stupid lights. Hate them stupid lights. They stupid, huh?" Right. And I tell my kids them stupid lights. But guess what? What was the most effective is when I decorated my fireplace with FOD lights. You know what I'm saying? That was the most effective. I make it festival. They're not even thinking about Christmas. You get what I'm saying? They're not even thinking about it. They love the Feast of Dedication. They just had a ball. You know what I'm saying? So now when they see Christmas, like, that's whack, Dad. They tell me, that's whack. Christmas whack. I'm like, yeah, baby, it was whack. You know what I'm saying? And teach them early.
Not giving heed to Jewish fables and commandments of men that turn from the truth.
These are Jewish fables and commandments of men, right? Even though, regardless of what, the truth is what you can see and read, right? It's what you can actually add up, right? Numbers don't lie, right? That's the truth. This is how Christianity is. Go ahead and play that video for me.
How much is it?
You owe me 13 weeks at $7 a week.
Tidy sum, isn't it? Pardon me just a minute.
Sure.
Lou. Here's $28. $28? Give him that old routine of ours, 7 into 28, 13 times.
Hey, give me the Crayola.
Oh, yeah. Here. Now, and do it right this time.
Hope it works.
Make it snappy.
Okay. Mr. Landlord.
Yeah?
What are you smoking, an army blanket?
Never mind about that. You owe me room rent.
All right, here's $28.
$28, fine. Just a minute. You owe me 13 weeks at $7 a week, and that happens to be a lot more than $28.
Well, that comes to $28.
Did you go to school?
Yes, sir.
Do you mean to say that you can prove that 7 times 13 is 28?
Well, it's got to be. Certainly it is, because Mr. Rabbit and I, that's $28. That's what you get.
If you can prove it, I'll tell you what I'll do. I will give you the room rent for nothing.
You will?
But if you don't prove it, you owe me double the back rent. Is it a deal?
That's a deal.
Okay.
You happen to have any Crayola on there?
Crayola?
Never mind. I got it.
Oh, you have?
I got the Crayola. 7 into 28 is going to come out 13.
That's your way.
That's my way. And it's got to come out right.
Here comes
now,
the Christianity.
First, I put down a 7.
Right.
Now, I'm going to divide the 7 into 28.
Yeah.
I put a 28 there.
Okay.
Isn't that cute? Now, here we go. 7 into 2. 7 will not go into 2.
It will not.
That's a very big 7 to push into that little bit of 2.
You say it is.
We ain't going to hurt that little 2, are we?
Of course you will.
So we take the 2. Open your hand.
Yes.
And I put that 2 right there for safekeeping. But don't drop it and don't lose it. Now, 7 into 8.
Once.
Once. I put the 1 over here. 1 over there. Now, we're going to carry the 7 because it's very big and it's getting heavy on my shoulders, and I'm going to drop the 7 under there. Now, 7 from 8
is 1.
Is 1. I put the 1 down there.
Mute yourself.
Now it comes. Would you mind opening up your palm of your hand, please? Or would you like to use that 2? Open it up. Give me that 2. You've had it long enough. I'm going to put that 2 right there. Now, 7 into 21?
3 times.
That's right. 7 into 28? 13.
Wait a minute. You have to prove this is better than that.
Wow.
You can prove it very easily
Willie.
by multiplication.
You mean you want me to multiply it?
No, not multiply. Multiply. Multiply.
All right. Multiply it.
7 times 13
It's
prove
28.
it. Go ahead.
Now, first, we got to put down a 13, right?
Right.
There's a 13.
Times 7.
Times 7.
Right.
7 weeks times 13, right? 7 times 3?
21.
21. 7 times 1?
7.
7. 7 and 1?
8.
And 2 to carry.
Now, wait a minute. I'm still not convinced. There's one sure way of proving this. One sure way.
Hold
and
on,
that's
can
by
we stop
addition.
that real quick?
want me to
Can we
add
stop
this
that
in
real
what?
quick? Stop. Where where should the 2 go?
Go on top of the 1. So he put the wrong precept down, huh? He didn't put it where it was supposed to go.
Hey, rise, kill, and eat.
Rise, kill, and eat.
Yeah.
That is Christianity. All right, go ahead. I just want to see who got that because he wrote the 21 at the bottom as if, what did he just do? He just did addition.
He told you don't read the Old Testament right there. He said you
Isaiah.
ain't got to read that.
Isaiah, it get worse.
He just did addition.
It
What
get
in
worse.
the world? Okay. Go ahead.
2 to carry.
Now, wait a minute. I'm still not convinced. There's one sure way of proving this. One sure way, and that's by addition.
You want me to addition it up?
I want you to put 13 7 times on that wall and then draw a line and add them up.
You want me to put down 13 7 times?
That's right.
Let's cut them out right. There's 1,
1,
2,
2,
3,
3,
4,
4,
5,
5,
6,
6,
7.
Wait a minute. What's the idea of spreading them out like that?
Well, it looks like a flock of seagulls going to hit the electric poles. Now we're going to add them up, right?
All right, go ahead.
Here we go. 3, 6,
Wait a
9.
minute. Let me do the adding this time.
Good. Come out right.
Wait
A 3, a 6, a 9.
Just a minute. I will do the adding. Then there'll be no mistake.
Yeah?
All right? $28 is. All right?
Sure.
Now,
Go ahead. If you had it up, go ahead.
3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21.
22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28.
I say that's like Christianity. We got the. If you do the own math, you read it for yourself. You see what it says and what it means. But if you have somebody reading it to you wrong, they're reading it to you upside down, you're going to have a misunderstanding, and you can get got like that. You could be deceived like that. But if you know how to do the math yourself, and he not involved, if he not touching the crown, pointing you where to go, writing the 21 on the bottom when the 2 should have been on top of the 1. You get what I'm saying? He's not putting the precepts in the right place. Their fear toward me is taught by the precepts of men and not by the precepts of God. That's Christianity right there.
So when the pastor say, that don't mean that.
Yes.
But he don't give you what it means.
28. That's 28. 28. That's what he's doing to it. And that's what done happen to most of our people. They really think it's 28. You get what I'm saying? Even though, go to Revelation.
The book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 3.
Uh-huh.
Blessed is he that readeth.
We read these things for ourselves, and we know the truth, right? We know the simple math. We know the simple addition.
That he no longer should live the rest of his time in the flesh to the lust of men, but to the will of God.
That's us now. We live into the will of God, no longer to the lust of men. We're not doing that. Our families are beguiled by the vain philosophies that the precepts of men have taught them. That don't mean that. It means 28. 13 7 times is 28, right? Go ahead.
For the time past of our life may suffice us to have wrought the will of the Gentiles.
We used to do the same things, right? Go ahead.
When we walked in lasciviousness, lust, excess of wine, revelings, banqueting, and abominable idolatry.
We used to be at the Christmas party, the Thanksgiving parties, wearing the pants, shaving our beards, shaving our heads, partying, going to the clubs, jumping from man to man, women to women. We used to do those things, right? But now that we're in the will of God, right? Go ahead.
Wherein they think it strange that you run not with them to the same access of riot.
Now they saying you strange. This brother's in a cult. This sister in a cult. She's evil. What, you think you better than me? You can't judge me. Well, according to the Bible, I can show you in the midst of sin. Right. I can show you that you don't love God. Now it's strange that you actually understand the Bible. Right. Go ahead.
Speaking evil of you.
Go ahead.
Who shall give account to him that is ready to judge the quick and the dead.
So who's going to account for you? The one that's ready to judge the quick and the dead, which is Christ. If you go back to doing the same access of rioting that they do, who's going to give account for you? Nobody but yourself. So when they telling you big mama's here and all that, you better remember, look, I got to give account to the Lord. Why did I trim my ways? And showed them that I'm not serious about this truth. So when this season, officer was saying, when the season is around, right, think of the will of God, the Feast of Dedication, Feast of Tabernacles, right, Feast of Purim. You see what I'm saying? We got a new moon every month. You see what I'm saying? So now when they think it's strange, tell them, okay, well, guess what? We go give account because when our books are open, God's going to point out a scripture and you're going to have faith and confidence and say, I did that.
The book of Jude, verse 18. How that they told you there should be mockers in the last time.
It's going to be mockers in the last time. Read.
Who should walk after their own ungodly lusts.
They're going to walk in their own ungodly lusts, their own ungodly desires. Read.
These be they who separate themselves.
So that's all I want. You're going to get mocked. You're going to get talked about. That's okay. Gird up your loins for it. Gird up your loins for it. They can say whatever they want. As long as you don't touch me, I'm fine. You can say whatever you want to say about me. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm right with the Most High God. Right?
Verse 11?
Yeah.
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 3, verse 11. For other foundation can no man lay than that is laid, which is Jesus Christ.
So you got to make sure you make Christ your foundation. Right? Christ didn't celebrate no Christmas. You never hear about Christ celebrating his birthday. Right? When the wise men came with the gifts, It said Herod was looking for a child from 2 years old and under. Christ could have been 2 right there. You know what I'm saying? It definitely wasn't his birth date. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta give me John 10. Let's see what he celebrated.
And with that fable, right? Christ said, pray your trip is not in the wintertime.
Right.
And
Ain't that crazy? Dang, that just hit me right there.
So if they traveling in the wintertime, come on now, it's cold as hell.
Man.
It's cold as hell.
Winter in Jerusalem?
Man.
Yeah, give me John 10 and 22. Let's see what Christ was celebrating.
Book of John, chapter 10, verse 22.
Let's see what he was celebrating in the winter.
And it was at Jerusalem, the feast of the dedication.
Uh-huh.
And it was winter.
So the winter high holy day is the feast of dedication. That's what we're supposed to be. And if you set Christ as your foundation, you're going to do as he done. You're going to follow Christ.
A man with a rifle who entered that facility called St. Francis Hospital in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and started shooting.
You gotta keep God's law. Sin is the transgression of the law. You know. No, I'm talking to you. This is what our people. Let's go. You know.
Book of Luke, chapter 6, verse 46.
Yep.
And why call ye me Lord, Lord, and do not the things which I say?
So why is everybody calling on Jesus? Jesus, Jesus. Call me Lord, Lord, and don't do nothing I say. Don't keep the high holy days I keep. Don't do nothing I say. You're supposed to be following me. I'm supposed to be your foundation. So why call me Lord, Lord, and do nothing that I say? Read on.
Whosoever cometh to me and heareth my sayings and do them, I will show you to whom he is like.
Uh-huh.
He is like a man which built an house and dig deep and laid the foundation on a rock. And when the flood arose, the streams beat vehemently upon that house and could not shake it, for it was founded upon a rock.
So guess what? If you do the things that Christ said, if you follow Christ like he followed his Father, your spiritual house will be built on a rock, a solid foundation, which is Christ. You're going to build your house on it. And then it says, when the floods arose, right, and the streams beat vehemently upon the house, that's trial and tribulation. That's Father's Day. And your son called you like, Pops, I just want to take you out, man. I know you don't celebrate, but come on, Dad, you don't love me no more? Oh, I want to show son I love him. Moms might try, it's Mother's Day. You don't love your mom no more? I kind of want to show her I love her. That's the wind beating on you vehemently, trying your spiritual house. See if you're going to trim your ways, right? And it says, and could not shake it, for it was founded upon a rock, because we was ready to lose everything for the Most High. We count all things lost, all things done for the Most High's laws. So that's where we at in this very moment right here. This is the season right here. From what? September or November on. From November on, this is when things get hard when it comes to the family in the new era. When you year 1, year 2. I tell you straight up, they don't call me no more. They know better. But I had to show them that it wasn't a fad. And it wasn't a way that I said it or how I explained it to them. It was consistency is what did it. You know what I'm saying? It's consistency. And now every Easter they talk about me. We ain't seen so and so in so long. How's he doing? Why he not here? we're not supposed to be keeping this because we're not supposed to be doing this. Christmas come around. Why he ain't here? Because we ain't supposed to be doing this. Everybody knows off of your example. So show them a righteous example.
1 Peter chapter 2, verse 21.
Uh-huh.
For even hereunto were ye called, because Christ also suffered for us, leaving us an example that ye should follow his steps.
Christ left us an example that we should follow his steps. He was talked about. First and foremost, he was loved. And then evil persuasion happened to where the people was turned against him, and then he was spat upon. He was talked about. He was hated. So the same way all those things happen to him, you have to be willing for those things to happen to you on some sort of level. Thank the Lord that we're not getting our beards pulled off right now. You know what I'm saying? Somebody spitting on us and slapping on us. I don't know if my spirit is that built up yet for me to do that, to let somebody just do that. I don't know if I'm that humble yet.
Trying to comb my beard, it hurts.
You know, hey, my little baby grabbed my beard. That's like, the worst pain ever. And they was snatching patches out of Christ's beard. You know what I'm saying? So if you can't take a little ridicule, you can't take your mom crying a little bit because she say you don't love her no more. Pop's upset with you, right? Your friends tell you ain't down no more. You done change. Yeah, I changed, I guess. I'll take that. Whatever, because it's minuscule to what Christ went through. It said he left us an example, right? So keep reading. Read that again.
For even hereunto were ye called, because Christ also suffered for us, leaving us an example that ye should follow his steps, who did no sin.
What did Christ do?
No sin.
He didn't break any of God's laws. That means he kept all of the high holy days. That means he had fringes on. That means he had a beard on. That means he kept the dietary law. He kept the ceremonial law. He showed you how to love your brother. We should follow his steps. He gave us an example. Now, when Christianity says 21,
28,
they said no matter what you just read right there, it said we should follow his steps. Nobody could do it because Jesus was immaculate. Even though we just read what this says right here, they said 28. You can't do that.
He got angel in his blood.
Right. When I show my niece or nephew how to do their homework, I do it for them for an example. Not that I'm going to do all of the homework for them. I'm going to show them how to do it. I'm going to explain it to them for what purpose? So they can do it on their own. That's the purpose. Christ didn't come down here and leave an example so he could boast on you like, yeah, I'm the only one that could do that thing. That ain't why Christ did that. He left us an example so we could follow his steps. I could do it in a fleshly body that lusts, right? That have desires, that covets, and I can discipline myself. Guess what I did a lot? I fasted a lot. You get what I'm saying? So guess what we got to do? Just cut myself right there. We got to fast more. You know what I'm saying? We just got to we got to follow his steps because he showed us that he could do it, meaning we could do it. He did no sin, right? Read that again.
21 or 22?
Both.
Verse 21, for even hereunto were ye called, because Christ also suffered for us, leaving us an example that ye should follow his steps.
That you should follow his steps. Do as he do, read.
Who did no sin.
Christ did no sin. He didn't sin one time, read.
Neither was guile found in his mouth.
And he didn't have no slick talk. He wasn't a fast talker. He didn't speak guile out of his mouth. You know what I'm saying? He was an honest man. His yea was his yea, his nay was his nay. We got to follow that example.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 2, verse 16. For verily he took not on him the nature of angels.
Christ, he didn't come in immaculate form, like they say, right? He didn't come with 13 times 7 to get 28. He came, right? Go ahead.
But he took on him the seed of Abraham.
Right. He came down and gave us the proper understanding, right? And he came down in our form, in a fleshly form. Jump down to verse 18.
Verse 18. For in that he himself have suffered being tempted.
What the Bible say?
For he himself had suffered being tempted.
Christ was tempted as we are tempted. Christ was tempted with the same thing we was tempted. So he was made just like us because he had to go through the same things we go through so he can do what? Go ahead.
he is able to secure them that are tempted.
Now, because he was able, just think about it, right? Christ never been through nothing we've been through, right? You know what he go tell you? Get over it. Right. Oh, I was lusting. So what? Right. Get over it. You supposed to be like me. I'm immaculate. I'm great. I'm angel. I'm coming straight down from heaven. You should be like me. Well, Christ, I'm in the flesh. I don't care. But the Bible says he came down in the flesh so he can understand what we going through. So now, when they say, well, that was Christ. Christ the only one that's perfect. No, Christ was tempted, but he decided not to follow through with breaking God's commandments. And he gave us that example that we must follow. So when we in the midst of that temptation, we got a choice. We either go do what Christ do, or we go do what the devil do.
So Rock chapter 27, verse 5. The furnace proveth the potter's vessel.
Right. So you put that pot in the furnace, and that show you if it's brittle, if it was made right, if the clay was good, it might fall apart. You put it in the furnace. Right? Read on.
So the trial of man is in his reasoning.
Right. So your trial is just like to see if the pot was good. Your trial is in your reasoning right now. So guess what? How do you reason with Christmas? How do you reason with Thanksgiving? How does it cross your mind? What do you feel about it? You think you should touch it? You think you should go visit? How are you reasoning about it? Or should you, because it's actually your trial. Mm-hmm. It's your trial. This is your toughest moment in the fight right now. Like I said above, it say the furnace tries the pot. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? In that same way, the way you reason is what tries you to make sure to see if you good or not.
It say the furnace proved the pot.
It proves it.
That means that the furnace was ready-made for that fire.
Right. And guess what? If the furnace was never there, the pot could look glorious as all outdoors. Mm-hmm. It could look beautiful, but can't hold a drop of water because it got a hole in it.
That the trial of your faith, being much more precious than of gold that perisheth.
Your trial that's what you're supposed to rejoice in tribulation when things is going wrong. When people is talking about you. That's how you know you're on the right path. Like, all praises, I'm going the right way. Everything the Bible said was going to happen, it's happening. Oh, because this never happened in Christianity. It was all good in Jesus. You know, everybody could do what they wanted to do. I do what I want to do. I don't judge you. You don't judge me, and it's all good. But now, my light shining, it's hurting everybody's eyes. I'm keeping the commandments they say that we can't keep. So now I'm getting ridiculed. I'm getting talked about. Right? Read it again.
That the trial of your faith, being much more precious than of gold that perisheth.
Your trial is precious if you overcome it. Read.
Though it be tried with fire, might be found unto praise and honor and glory at the appearing of Jesus Christ.
So you being tried in the fire, that's the wind beating on your house vehemently. You get what I'm saying? The trial is coming. You got a reason. Am I going to do this or am I going to do that? Am I going to do what God said or am I going to trim my ways a little bit and appease? What am I going to do? Because at the end of the day, it's gonna see if I'm found to praise and honor or not. Mm-hmm. Right? You got a sword maker. He got to put it under the stone and hit it when it's hot. You know what I'm saying? But when it cool off, if he ain't never did that, he might swing that sword one time and it break. What good is it? It looks sharp, but when I went into battle with it, it was no good. So in that same sense, the Lord got to try you. These trials and tribulation, that's the Lord, that's the smith hitting on you. Ping, ping, seeing if this sword is good or not. Seeing if this vessel is good or not for use. And if it break in that trial, then I might as well start another one. Get rid of this one because it's no good. That's why I said the philosophies and vain deceits spoil you. Make you no good. You didn't pass the test. Right? They do that at my job with the concrete. They got this guy come and his only job is to take a piece of the concrete that I'm using and squeeze it with this big machine. See how many PSIs it take before it breaks. To know if it's good to use in a bridge. Because if it's not good to use in a bridge that I'm building, all the cars could fall over and kill many people. So they have to test it. You got to test it. The same thing. The Lord got to test
Verse
you.
35. Mm-hmm. Women receive their dead raised to life again. And others were tortured,
Some of us was tortured during this time. Read.
not accepting deliverance,
Uh-huh.
that they might obtain a better resurrection.
Read on.
And others had trials of cruel mockings
Somebody had trials of cruel mockings. People was talking about him. It was tough for him. Read.
and scourging.
Scourging. Read.
Yea, moreover, of bonds and imprisonment.
Some of us was locked up and thrown in prison. Different trials to show if we was vessels of righteousness or this little Christmas thing, that's easy. That's easy. All you got to do is sit down and don't answer your phone. Everybody know what they really battling. Some of us is battling pride, being a lion in the house. Some of the sisters is used to running the house, being independent women. Those things are hard. Some people get offended easy. That might be your trial. I might be your trial. The way I move might be your trial. You might be my trial. And it's necessary for us to be here so we can work it out, so we can be shown approved to each other. And a lot of times we come in here and meet our trial and be like, oh, this true. Oh, this ain't real. This fake right here. Because you done met your trial and you gave up easy. You broke in the furnace. Instead of doing the Matthew 18 thing like the Bible tell you to do and work it out. You just left because, you know what I'm saying? Because you was weak spirit. You come in here and you think that, okay, nobody understands what I had to go through. I had to give this up, that, and the third. But you don't want to come in here with the crackhead spirit. I wouldn't trade my trial for that because that got chemical withdrawal to it, right? The sodomite spirit, I wouldn't trade my trial for that. That's why the Lord tell you, you ain't going through nothing such as common to men. Everything we going through is common to men. And Christ was tried, and he showed you how to overcome it.
They were stoned.
Some of us got stoned at that time. Read.
They were sawn asunder.
Some of us got sawed in half. Different trials for different people. Read.
Were tempted.
Uh-huh.
Were slain with the sword.
Uh-huh.
They wandered about in sheepskin and goatskin, being destitute, afflicted, tormented, of whom the world was not worthy. They wandered in deserts and in mountains and in dens and caves of the earth. And these all having obtained a good report through faith received not the promise. God having provided some better things for us, that they without us should not be made perfect.
So we're going to be made perfect if we come through our trials. We come through it. If you don't come through it, you get thrown away. You get replaced. Your candle get blown out. Your candle is lit right now. You got to get your candle blown out. You got to do something. You got to, and a just man falls 7 times. Am I saying you're going to lose one trial and then be out of here? No. But once you stop fighting, that's what the bread and wine is about, standing here and enduring, being in here in sincerity. You don't take the bread and wine not sure if you're going to be here a year or two from here. That's why we always tell people to wait. I done seen so many people take bread and wine and be out of here in the next year. First trial, got into an argument. A woman came, walked by, smelled her perfume. You know how in them cartoons, the pie be like, and it beckon you. Yeah, there's a perfume take you right up out of here.
The green smoke.
You start reasoning with yourself. I can convert her. She don't care nothing about you.
By your reason.
I've seen it.
2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 5. Examine yourselves, whether ye be in the faith. Prove your own selves.
You got to prove your own self. Are you really about this truth or not? Prove it to yourself. Here goes the first step. Read on.
Know ye not your own self?
How
that Jesus Christ is in you, except ye be reprobate?
Except you be reprobate. We read that in Titus 1:14. You deceived by the philosophy of men that make you reprobate. You got to prove yourself to see if you that tried stone, if your house is built on a foundation or not.
So, brothers, what you see right now is God's army. And guess what? The Lord wants you to join this army. Join God's army. Because we are the 12 tribes of Israel. Come join us. We have a lot of work to do, and we cannot do it by ourselves. Not just dealing in America, but globally, worldwide. We got to visit places like Iran, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, the 54 countries in Africa. We got to set up sanctuaries, teach the people, raise the people up in the Word of God. It's a big job, and nobody's doing this job. There's no nation doing what we're doing. Every black organization, every Christian church acts like the diaspora doesn't exist. Who's going to the Afro-Iraqi? Nobody. Right. Who's dealing with the Afro-Iranians? Nobody. You know, we're the only ones. We are the prophets of God.